Hi everyone. Again, today should be a short video. Hopefully, today's is only going to be like 2 minutes. I promise this time I'm gonna rush through. Um, Today, your main task is to read Act Two or Act One, scenes 2 through 4. Now, I know it's a lot, and you're also going to complete with that packet pages 10 and 11. So please look for that. But I wanted to take a couple minutes while you read those acts or those scenes 2 through 4 and complete packet pages 10 through 11. I also want to take you through these literary terms. I'm going back to yesterday's as well. We're going to look at yesterday's March 30th and today's March 31st. It's 7 total terms. You are making flashcards for these, but I want to show you how they're connected to the play, and hopefully it can help you read the play and complete your homework. So I know I've already used some of these terms a lot, and to help you navigate the play, it's helpful to know how it's structured. So these are our first 7 drama terms, and the first one is an act. An act is one of the main divisions in a play. It's kind of like chapters in a book. You'll notice that Romeo and Juliet has 5 total acts, so basically 5 large chapters or sections. And then a prologue is a separate introductory section of a literary or musical work. In this case, we read the prologue together yesterday, and the prologue starts basically before Act 1. There's another prologue before Act 2, but it's basically someone would come up on the stage, introduce everything, just say it to you out loud what's going to happen so that you're ready for the actual acting to start taking place. It wouldn't be one of the characters saying all of this, it's more like a narrator saying everything. Next, we have the scenes. I've also used this term quite a bit already. Scenes are kind of the individual pieces within each act. So there's 5 acts, but each act has its own scenes. And if you're familiar with a play at all, you'll notice that basically every time like the lights go out or they change the scenery or different characters kind of swap out and come onto the stage, that's a new scene, right? So we read the prologue yesterday. You read Act 1, Scene 1, and that's just happening in a street in Verona. A bunch of the characters actually get in this gigantic fight. And then today, in scenes 2, 3, and 4, you're actually going to see different characters interact. In scene 2, you're going to see Romeo interact with his dad. And then in scene 3, you're going to see Juliet interact with her mom and family. And then in scene 4, you're going to go back to seeing Romeo again as he and his friends are on the way to a party. So again, each scene kind of has its own different little plot things that are going on, and they all connect together to make an act. The dialogue is basically all the words that you're going to see. You're just going to see what each character is saying one to another, and that's how you're going to follow along with the story. And then today's new terms. We have 3 that are very similar: an aside, a monologue, and a soliloquy. Now, all of these refer to basically one character and the way that they're speaking or delivering their lines, but they each have something unique about it. An aside, excuse me, an aside is something that one character will say out loud, but only the audience can hear it. Okay, so in other words, all the acting might be going on the stage, and then one of the characters kind of sneaks to the front of the stage, and just to the audience, and it will say this in parentheses, will have an aside where they explain something to the audience or they give their own thoughts and opinions to the audience. That's an aside. Lastly, we have a monologue, which is a long speech given by a character in a story, movie, or play. This can happen, yes, while all the other characters are listening, but it's just when one character goes on for lines and lines and lines, almost maybe even the length of a full scene, just one character's talking. And then last but not least is a soliloquy. A soliloquy is a long, usually serious speech that a character in a play makes to an audience that reveals the character's thoughts. Now, this one can happen in front of other characters or can just happen with the single character on the stage. It's almost like a combination of an aside and a monologue. So while other characters might overhear it, it's mostly the main character speaking their thoughts and opinions to the audience, but for a very long time. Asides are very short, monologues are for a long time. Soliloquies are a combination of both, a long speech to the audience revealing the character's thoughts. That's it for today. Please read Act 2, Scenes 2 through 4, and complete the flashcards. And don't forget to complete packet pages 10 through 11. As always, if you have questions during office hours, please let me know. Thank you and have a good day.